Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I contour my face whenever I want that really beat face kind of a look. I'm going to be walking you through my tips and tricks as well as the products I use all the time, constantly, so that whenever you guys see me do a makeup tutorial, have something to refer to whenever you do have questions about how to do this or how I do it. So if you want to learn how to do this, please keep watching, and at the end, if you end up liking this video or you learn something new, please make sure to like this video as well as subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna try to keep it real simple. I'm not gonna be complicating it. It is not rocket science, trust me. Don't be scared of contouring. It is a lot easier than people make it seem. So I'm taking my L'Oreal Infallible foundation. This is the shade, what is this? Golden Beige 104. I'm just dabbing it all over the face like so, and we're just buffing it in. This is the Morphe M439. Keep in mind that you are going to be applying concealers on top of this, so that is also going to be adding an extra layer of coverage, so just keep that in mind whenever you're doing your foundation. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is don't go caking on your foundation. Just trust me on that. It's going to just make everything look really over the top. I mean, unless you're going for that. I don't really like to go for that. Contouring, it is all about creating like levels of depth in the face, creating shadows and things of that nature. So I'm going to be using the LA Girl concealers. They look like this. It's a really affordable product. They're about $3 each or so, and they work really well and give me good coverage, so I definitely recommend this. I'm going to go ahead and take the shade called Creamy Beige, and what I like to do with my concealer is get right up underneath my lower lash line, like get right up under there. There's something about doing this step that really like makes your eyes look really fresh and awake, and it basically gives you like 5 extra hours of sleep under there, if you know what I mean. Like, girls, y'all know what I mean by like whenever you wake up and you feel like you got bags under your eyes or darkness. This completely eliminates that look. Okay, now that that is done, we're going to be taking Toast from those same concealers. We're going to be taking Toast and we're going to be applying that as well. So I took like a tiny bit of that. But what I'm going to be doing with this is combining it with a facial oil. This is just one that I found at, what's it called? At, I think, Marshall's for like $6. But like if you ever find like a really thin facial oil, kind of basically like the Marajuku oil or something like that. You know that Marajuku Tarte oil, that purple little oil that you see everybody putting it in? It's basically similar to that, but it's a lot cheaper, and I found it at Marshall's, so I'm going to be using it. I'm going to be just taking like 2 drops and applying that on the actual product itself, and we're going to basically thin it out. And the reason I do this is because it is a concealer, so it's a lot thicker. So I like to thin it out, and it makes it easier to blend, and it creates more product, so it like triples the product that you applied originally on your hand. So basically what I do, I kind of just take my finger, my little what is this finger, and I'm gonna go from the tops of my ear right here, kind of at a diagonal, so you can even feel, like, take your finger and kind of press into your face the hollows where you can feel your bone up here. Right up underneath there is where you want to place this, and I kind of just tap and keep it about halfway on your cheek. Don't go too far in, because you're still gonna blend and all that stuff, and once you blend, the product placement is going to change. So you want to kind of keep it real concentrated and in a tight spot, and so when you blend it, it won't go all over the place and be like way down here when you originally put it up here. So everywhere you're putting the darkness is where you want to create shadow and kind of pull that back, and everything that you're putting the light concealer on, you're kind of wanting to bring out. So just keep that in mind. So we're going to be putting it on the sides of the nose, just very lightly. For the nose, what this does is make it look a lot more narrow. This is the Morphe E8. I'm going to start off with the darker shade, and I'm just working in really small sections, really small motions. My hand is super light. I'm not putting a lot of pressure. You have to work in baby steps and work with patience. Otherwise, things are going to start to look a little patchy, and the product is not going to blend out as nicely. One of my tips is, like I always tell this to my girls, You don't want to blend like this, especially if you're a beginner, because you have a lot. The closer your hand is to the bristles, the more pressure is right here. So when it touches your face or whatever product you're using, it's going to be a lot rougher on the product, hence making it a lot more patchy. Versus when I do this, I notice that you have a more feathery touch to the face, so it kind of just blends the product out just right, and there tends to be a lot less patchiness, especially if you tend to be heavy-handed and you're like, oh, why is my contour not blending out nicely, or why does it look patchy? Definitely try that tip out. That will definitely help. Notice how I'm not going straight across, because what tends to happen, why girls look like when you see that girl in the mall walking around with that strip across her face. So I used to be that girl. It's not cute. Like, I'm just gonna be very honest. I know I used to walk around like that, so I'm very well aware, because I wasn't being careful with how I would blend out my contour. I think we were all that girl at one point. I see girls doing all of that, and it causes it, literally you're drawing a line across your cheek, and it is very visible, and I can see it, they can see it, I know you see it, so you don't want to do that. You're literally working in little circular motion so that the product is never in one like super straight line. So you want to just buff it out and kind of give it an airbrush kind of a look, versus you just going ham on your face. To me, I find that it just does not work that way. Now we're going to work on the nose as well. You want to be very gentle, because this is a very small area of the face, and you want to be very careful not to over blend. I just kind of turn my brush literally on its side and bring my hand back so that the pressure is released from the brush, and just feather it out. Literally this is just what I do. I don't know, guys, I'm just doing my best to show you guys what I do. 9 times out of 10 you will never catch me dragging anything across underneath my eyes. That's another big tip of mine, you guys. Always pat. Now you see how we created like the darkness on my nose? I want to make sure that that's also well blended and it looks good as well. So what we're going to do is take the concealer that I was using, which is that creamy, what is this? Creamy beige, and just run it down the center of my nose, just like that. So what I do is I take my finger, this finger again, and we're just gonna tap. So tap that shade in the center of the nose. And if you have a wider nose, you know what I mean, because I know I had a girl DM me on Instagram specifically asking how to narrow your nose. This is a good trick for that, without making your nose look too obvious. So you see how it kind of like made my nose look wider than it was before when I had the brown on the side. So what you're gonna do, if you get a little overboard with the center highlight of that concealer, you take your brush again, and with whatever's left, kind of run it on the side of the nose. Do not touch the center of your nose. Just blend back that darker shade a little bit on the nose. My last step, I go over the nose with the foundation brush that we use at the beginning, just to make sure everything is nice and blended. So now that that is pretty much done, I'm going to set things in place. I'm going to take some of that. I'm going to set the under eye area first. But before we do that, take your brush. This is my tip for whenever you don't want your under eye area to crease. Right before you're about to set the under eye area, look up, get a mirror, look up and tap. Get all those creases out right before you're about to apply your powder, and then go in with that powder right up underneath and like sides of my nose. People call it the T-zone. I have like an I zone, like it's like down the nose, forehead, and like right like my nose, and like on the sides of my face right here. So literally it's like this is my oily area, so that's where I set first, like with the most powder. Like I go in with that powder because that oil, it's not a game. It really gets oily and I hate it because it like makes my makeup look like not good. For the rest of my face, I don't really have to set. I just kind of roughly go over the face. Like I'll just take whatever's left of that powder, just very lightly kind of go on the other sections of the face. And the last step that I do is I take some of that powder, that colorless powder, and I just clean it up to ensure that we didn't get too low with that contour or that bronzer right up underneath there, just like that. Pop in contour, and it doesn't look messy, it looks nice and clean, really sharp, because that's what the point of contouring is, creating the structure. This is how I contour whenever I want that full glam. I hope this was helpful for you guys. If this was helpful in any way, shape, or form, please make sure you give me a big thumbs up so I can continue doing these videos for you guys. And also leave a comment down below if there's anything else you guys want to see or hear me break down. And you already know we are on the road to 2K. I'm super excited about that. So please, if you haven't already subscribed and I helped you out or gave you a tip that you didn't already know, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you guys can continue to see these tips. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye guys.